Well, we'll make a start because I think we've got 20 people here, which I think is a really good effort given the time of year. I suppose to start with, just a welcome to country. I'm on Gadigal country, of the Aurora Nation today. So if anybody also feels like they would like to pop into the chat which country they're coming from, which land they're coming from today, please feel free. And also just your name and your organization, that would be really, really helpful. My name's David Burns. I work at Collective Leisure, and I've also got Alison Jones on today, who's our project coordinator, who's just put her hand up there. So Alison's going to be taking the minutes and doing all the stuff with the technology because I'm terrible at it. And we're recording as well, so hopefully that's okay with everybody. We have put our 2 previous community of practices on our YouTube channel, so we can forward this to people that are interested as well. So just with the background, we held a virtual conference last June where we had 57 different organisations from Western Sydney who were involved, and then we from that, one of the outcomes was to set up a community of practice, which we've had 2 community of practices, and this is the 3rd one. So we've squeezing it in before the Christmas break, and I've had a lot of out of office replies, and I think and some people can't make it because it's a busy time of year as they're trying to finish things off. But what is Western Sydney Moving? Well, what we're trying to do collectively is reduce physical inactivity in Western Sydney. So the people that have been involved so far, like yourselves, are passionate about Western Sydney, and we are practitioners, we're policymakers, we're researchers, people on the ground that are trying to reduce what is a wicked problem. So with the format of these community practices, we usually have a guest speaker, and then a little bit of time at the end. But I thought what would be good today is just have one guest speaker, and then leave a little bit of space at the end for people to share anything that's important for them, or what's on the plan for 2023. So that's an open kind of space for us just to collaborate a little bit. So that'll be quite interesting. So I'd like to welcome Elizabeth Kaleja. I don't know if I said that quite right. Hopefully it's good enough. From the Heart Foundation of Australia. And Elizabeth's been involved in Western Sydney Movement since the beginning, and is going to talk to us about one of the fantastic programs, walking programs, which is a national program. And then we're going to delve into a little bit about where that lands for Western Sydney. So Elizabeth, would you like to try and share your screen, see if that works?
Oh, of course. David, we're good?
Yes, we're good.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. And as David said, I'm Elizabeth Kaleja, or Kalea, if I say it right. My father-in-law will be happy if I say it properly. So I am the Senior Advisor for Physical Activity at the National Heart Foundation of Australia. So I lead up anything that's got anything to do with physical activity across the country. So today, this is the one I want to show you because it's got all the data, because the other one was 4 minutes, 8 minutes. This one's a 20-minute one. I want to show you a lot more data today than what I had in that I just presented at the Asia Pacific Society for Physical Activity 2 weeks ago, and gave them a bit of a snapshot to researchers on what we did for our program evaluation. So I'll talk to you about that today, but I will also give you a lot more data than what I could fit into an 8-minute presentation for researchers. As I said, I'm the Senior Advisor for Physical Activity. Also on the line today, I just want to make acknowledgement to Simon Cowie, who's joined us today, who's our new New South Wales GM, I will introduce you in later. And thanks, David, for Simon coming in. And hopefully Penny Tribe was going to join as well. She's a head of revenue, so they just wanted to jump in today to say hi and also be part of this presentation for Simon. It's a bit of a snapshot, good way to get a snapshot on handover with the multiple handovers we're doing. So, okay, so moving on. for this. Firstly, I want to just pay my respects to and acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians throughout the country that we serve at the National Heart Foundation. And I pay my respects as well to them, their cultures, their elders past, present and emerging. And I myself am in southwestern Sydney, born and raised, so I pay my respects to the Cabrogal people of the area I'm in Liverpool, Liverpool City Council, and also their elders past, present, future. So just for the Heart Foundation, for people who don't really have much to do with this, just a little bit of a snapshot. So who are we and what do we do? So our strategy really focuses on around a Heart Foundation being the leading organisation for the fight against heart disease. Our vision is towards Australia free of heart disease. So within that, our mission is to reduce heart disease and improve heart health and quality of life throughout for all people living in Australia through our work in risk reduction, patient support and care, and our research arm. And we understand that our organisational enablers are really critical to what we do. So we have our funding partners and we have research and philanthropy, and we have such a big part that comes into how we support people out there and also fund our research. Oh, researchers who we support, I should say. And our purpose is really leading the fight to save Australian hearts and working collectively with people like yourselves to help get that message out there and help support people in the community. So now to move to Heart Foundation walking and physical activity specifically. So we know that regular physical activity reduces the risk of cardiovascular disease and other chronic diseases. Now, physical activity such as walking can reduce the risk of heart disease by around 35%. However, the Australian Bureau of Statistics shows that we've only got 15% of Australian adults meeting our current physical activity guidelines, which is of strength training and cardiovascular fitness. So you see the data bouncing around a little bit differently, but when we nut down to do people do everything they should do, we've only got 15%. So it's a very small number. And this is where Heart Foundation comes in. And Heart Foundation walking has been going for more than 25 years, and I'll give you some stats later on that. So just to highlight, Heart Foundation Walking is a Heart Foundation Walking initiative, and this is what we'll be calling it moving forward. And it's got 4 pillars. So today I'm just going to talk to you about 2 of them, which is our walking groups and our personal walking plans. So it's our face-to-face and our digital tool. Note that we also have our Active Australia Innovation Challenge, which is a grassroots grants that we give $10,000 grants to communities to help get their people moving. And this is where Western Sydney Moving, this is of interest, and we've had people in the area, and we're doing a review and snapshot of Active Australia Innovation Challenge of who across the country, and we'll have a showcase. So I can probably show you that next year because we're just commissioning that at the moment. But it is for all types of physical activity, from primary school age children to older adults, and it can be anything: cycling, walking, surfing, swimming, dancing in the dark. We've got such a wide variety of people come with some really great innovative ideas that meet equity targets, and they look at their sustainability, and that's part of our criteria. Okay, how are we going to make our people move more? So there's some really great ones out there. And the 4th pillar is our active living, our healthy built environment work. So we've got Healthy Active by Design as our platform and our resource for professionals. And we've got information in there for consumers, case studies. So there's a lot of work in there. And if you're interested in that, I can send a link. You can have a look at that after, but I won't focus on that today. So as I said, I'm going to focus on our face-to-face and our digital tool. And firstly, I'll give you a snapshot on our Heart Foundation walking groups. So Heart Foundation Walking was launched in 1995 in Queensland and went nationwide by 2007. So currently we've got over 1,055 groups across Australia, and we've got over 2,000 volunteers who lead those groups. So we normally have like 1 or 2 lead volunteers who lead those groups. Now, within this, we have 660 host organisations, and I can see Janine, she's one of my first people I can see there. She's one of them with Western Sydney Diabetes and our local health districts. So hi, Helen, I see you, and Alison. Local health districts, but we've also got councils and GP clinics and shopping centres. So Stocklands in Marylands and Wetherill Park both have walking groups where they're helping to keep people moving. They walk before the shops open, and neighbourhood housing. And this is across Australia as well as big focus we've got a lot of people in New South Wales and Western Sydney. So for a bit of a snapshot on how many people have we activated across the country, we currently have 43,000 registered walkers in our Heart Foundation walking groups. There's the age group is 65% or over 60 years, and 28% live alone. We tend to have a bit of a gender skew towards female, with about 78% being female. And we do reach the lower SES areas. So 41% have a low household income, and we're reaching 29% of those from lower CFA areas. We do have cold targets as our KPIs and Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander targets, and we're seeing about 3% who are an Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander group or identify as Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander, and 13% say that their English is their second language. Now, one of the big things that we like to promote is people join for the health reasons, but they stay for the social reasons. So one of our favourite quotes is people say that, I come for the walk, but I stay for the talk, which is really important. And I'll show you some stats on this. So how we collect our stats is we look at a survey at registration, at walk a 6-month point, at a 12-month point, and then annually for people who stay in the program for more than 2 years. And 95% believe that Heart Foundation does have a really big impact in enabling them to do more regular physical activity on a weekly basis. So we've got some really good stats from our walker survey, just showing, it increases the amount of walking they do, the daily physical activity other than walking, helps them with their confidence and also knowledge and awareness. So that's really critical for us to know that we're having that wider impact than just going, I come for a group and I do it once a week. It's actually helping them on a broader level. From a physical, social, mental well-being, we really like to look at that. How is that impacting people? And we can see that we've got, we are having a great impact on physical well-being. So somewhat important, really high percentage, so at 99%. Social well-being, being in a group setting, and also mental well-being, making them feel better. But also, how are they meeting the physical activity guidelines? So we have 92% of walkers report that they're doing the 150 minutes or more per week. And we're actually retaining people at 6 and 12 months. So 90% at 6 and 77% at 12. So we're really happy with those stats, and we want to continue to foster that and continue to develop and grow that. Now, for Western Sydney specifically, how do you really get people into this program? So I've put a little snapshot here of our website just on how to look for a walking group in the area. So I've used Penrith as an example because our first one pops up is our Nepean Blue Mountains Cardiac Support Group, which is actually connected to Nepean Hospital Cardiac Rehab. That's another story for another time, but there's a whole list of people within a 10K radius I've just showed you here, but you can broaden that to 25, 50Ks, so you can see what the walking groups are in the local areas. So for people who you are supporting or anybody who are interested in joining a walking group, you can put in your postcode or the suburb and draw the radius of what walking groups are in that area. And we've got quite a few in Western Sydney and southwestern Sydney. So please feel free to go to our website to have a look at this after. And it'll show you what day and what time, and some of them are friendly, and how many members are in there. So you can see we've got Nepean Blue Mountains have 38 members. And there's always someone who will walk with the fastest person, the slowest person of the group. And just before I move on, one of the things as well with the groups is they are supported by resources and information. So we provide them with training and resources and EDM series. So people who are walk organisers or in the group, they get a lot of regular information across the year as well, apart from just being part of a face-to-face group. All right, so I just want to move on now to personal walking plans, because I really want to show you some great data that we've got. Now, personal walking plans is our digital online tool. We launched personal walking plans in March 2021 as part of our digital capability. So we used to have an app, and we found that was quite cumbersome and quite hard to maintain the engagement and can be quite costly. And we were looking at how do we engage more people? And we ended up with the app, about 43,000 people using the app over a 2.5, 3 year period. We wanted to do better. So launching this plan was designed to have easy to follow 6-week physical activity plans to get people to walking most days of the week. And using walking as the main activity, we help them people to progress the number of sessions, duration, and intensity. Now, the plans also support flexibility and strength exercises to meet the total physical activity guidelines. And we also encourage messaging to help people to think more than just, I'm going for a walk and I have to do this. You know, what else can you think about? Happiness, breath, discovery, positivity. And we had regular text messages and messages throughout the plan. So I'll just dive into that a little bit in a minute. But in regards to reaching people, how do we reach people with personal walking plans? So the campaign launch looked at a digital mass marketing campaign. So this is where we invested a lot of our energies to the digital reach as well as the messaging component. So how do we really activate that? So social media marketing was designed to reach people nationwide. And we use the EAST framework on behavior change, which I won't go into too much now. If you want more details, I can send this with the meeting minutes for Dave to put them in. But it was really looking at making it easy, attractive, social, and timely. And it was a real creative approach that we had our marketing team really honing in to support us with this as well. And we used selfie style approach. People were out. You can see in these images, people are out walking. There were, we had videos to help activate them. I can't show you these videos because they're from last year. We're looking at what are we doing next. I didn't put them in here because they take a bit longer as well. But it's just looking at how do we engage those people and make it more personable. And this is part of that EAST framework of behavior change. Now, once people were reached via social media and digital streams, how did they get started? So people who started the program and survey respondents, I'll come to that later, completed a 2-minute questionnaire when they're registering via our personal walking plan website. So you see me say PWP, move forward. So we asked about contact details, their current physical activity level, health issues, and goal setting. And just to note, for anyone who doesn't pass the health screening, we encourage them to go back to their GP for referral, and then they can come back and it can encourage that conversation around heart health checks and a few of our other messaging as well about helping them to connect with their GP if they've got other chronic diseases or injuries. And then once they complete the 2-minute survey, then they'll receive their own plan. And the survey really asks 4 questions about their physical activity. Are you doing any exercise and where are you starting? And it's to help design people to, if they haven't been exercising, to build them up to 30 minutes, 150 minutes a week. And then also for people who may be doing regular exercise, how do we get them to do more? Because we know that more is better. Reaching that 300 minutes is better than the 150. So it will help people progress. Now, to give you that really crux about what did we design, what are we in here? So that it was really designed to get people to meet those physical activity guidelines. Now, but depending on their survey responses on their physical activity level, they'll get one of 4 plans. And these were really work on weekly progression. And we had rate of perceived exertion in tables in the digital plan. So they get week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6, and it has all that information in there on how to progress. And we also had strength and flexibility exercises had instructional videos. So we had about 6 exercises for stretch and strength, and they are supporting people when they're walking. So a lot of lower limb exercise, a couple upper body work, stretches and strengthening exercises, and all designed by accredited exercise physiologists. And you can see this picture up here is just a little snapshot of the video. The EPs who designed them are also in the videos as well. So we had qualified people designing these programs. Now, they received an exercise log to record their progress. It is PDF, so it's a printable one, and something we're looking at for future development to have more capability of digital tracking through the phone or through, being able to log something online. And then the motivational messages I mentioned before, so they get those via email or text. Now, with the emails, they receive the weekly emails at check-in, and they'll get general information and links to what's coming up. And the SMSs that they can receive were opt-in, so some people can opt out. They don't need to receive those. But if they choose to receive them, there's a combination of supportive, encouraging, and informative messages. So, for example, we've got focusing on your breathing can help you stay motivated and mindful through walking. And they'll get regular different messages throughout the 6-week period to help just guide and have different focuses. So that's a bit of a snapshot on the program and how to get enrolled and what people get. If you're encouraging people to utilize this digital walking plan, we do have a website for that as well. And you can see all they need to do is click the Get Your Free Plan, and then they fill out the 2-minute survey, and then it all comes to them via email, and they can access everything online. And it is mobile enabled, so they can do the online via the web through normal computer or via their phone, which most people, our marketing always looks at that, and a lot of people use their phone. So it is that there, and it's really easy, really simple for them to get them. And I'll send you guys the links as well, so we can put them in the meeting minutes. Now, onto some data. Where are we from March 2021 to end of November? We are currently at 169,000, or over 169,000 people who have registered for personal walking plans. We have an average age of 58 years, and we have 90% who are registering as female. We're really interested in that, whether they walk in, further data will look at, are they walking with family members, who's walking with them? But right now we're only looking at who's registering. And we're still getting the cold and the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander reach. So, we're still getting people saying English is a second language, and Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders. Now, you can see here, which I always love because, we're New South Wales, go the Blues, but we have over 30% of people in New South Wales signing up for a personal walking plan. So we are getting the reach across Western Sydney. We're getting the reach across metro and regional areas. And part of our enhancements next year is we really want to dive in going, where is everybody? We've got the heart maps on Heart Foundation website, where we can look at cardiovascular disease risk and who's where by LGA. We're looking to do that for our walking too. So hopefully, 2023, I can present again and show you some really detailed who is where and helps us with what we're doing. Now, the last thing I just want to go, and Dave, keep me on time if I'm going over, is just about personal walking plans and the campaign survey. So last year, after the launch, we put out a campaign survey to see, okay, if we're putting this out there as a population-based physical activity initiative that's digital, it's online, how are these people receiving it? What are they getting? So we did an internal evaluation to understand whether personal walking plans resulted in behaviour change and changing the levels of physical activity for people in the community. We really wanted to have insights on the user experience, the potential for improvements and customization moving forward. And we wanted to provide information to support our decision making on how we invest, what do we need to invest more in, what do we need, what's working, and all the different components. As I said, there's lots of different components and what's the best bang for our buck to make sure we're getting the most out of it for participants. So the evaluation was really looked at a digital self-report survey, and it was conducted on the enrolment, so everybody who enrolled, and then we had a follow-up survey, so when people completed the 6 weeks. Now, the surveys were completed between the 11th of May and 30th of June 2021. So we're capturing, it was roughly about 60,000 people. I won't jump ahead, I've got stats. But the survey questions really ask people about their goals, physical activity levels, the influence of the motivational messaging, and also their intention to continue once they finish the digital walking plan. So for the enrollment, now this is a very busy slide, but I kept everything in here from our insights team because I thought you guys might be really interested to see these and you can have a quick look. But really, we had 2,338 survey respondents, and those who, compared to those who downloaded the program between March and June 2021, which was about 90,000 people, the demographics were pretty much the same. We did have a slightly older cohort in the participants on the age profile, but really, we got a good mix, and it was a good comparison on data, and still having the same comparison of males versus females participating in the survey. So you can see the stats here, and I just want to hone in. We've got, again, New South Wales there. We've got 29% were survey respondents compared to 30% who are actually doing the program, and we had a really good stretch across metro and regional. So we're really happy about that we were still reaching people in regional remote areas. Age range was varied across, but you can see about, the 50 to 69 years is where we really hit that target. Now, the reasons for why people signed up, I won't go into these all details, but really looking at this, our main thing was people wanted to improve their health and their fitness. We had some people who were there for weight loss and some for energy. And we really pushed this as an individual level campaign. So we didn't really push it out to health professionals. So you can see down there, 8% were referred by a doctor or health professional. But for us, we're happy to see that, because it was really going, well, even though we're pushing it to campaign really hard to individuals, there are people seeing it and taking that and referring people on. So that's work for us for the future. How do we engage health professionals, and work that we can do with you guys? Now, important part, how did they go with their physical activity levels? So we found that 74% of survey respondents completed the program, and 86% of those reached their goal, either somewhat or completely. And 69% of those self-reported that they met the physical activity guidelines for strength and cardiovascular fitness. We asked them, we had so many things we wanted to ask these people. So I'm just giving you a bit of a snapshot, but I want to show you this one. We really wanted to know, did we meet their needs? Is this what they wanted? Is there anything else we can do? Is there anything else we could have done to help you reach that goal as well? So, things were, making the plan a bit longer, helping with more motivation, and we can dive into click rates on another day, but, it's looking at how do we really make this better for the future? So this was part of our insights report. But the things were really important for us, and what we're interested in is, are they moving more? And yes, we found that, yes, they were moving more. And for cardiovascular fitness, we found that the average number of days at the start was 2.7, and they moved to 4.4 days per week on average. And strength training, we saw the difference as well, going from 0.9 to 2.4 days a week, which is amazing when we think about, if we look at the Australian data on strength, a lot of people don't really get there. I think, I saw one report, it was talking about 7%. So we are making an impact. And we also wanted to know, 1 minute, yep, nearly at the end, are people, do the text messaging and motivational messages work? And we did find that there was an impact on motivational messaging as well. So for those who reported they paid attention to motivational messaging, they actually increased their physical activity compared to those who didn't or who chose not to receive the texts. So for cardiovascular fitness, it was 4.4 days compared to 3.9, and strength, it was 2.5 compared to 2, which is really good to see that those messaging actually helps to further encourage people to be active and more. And our last part is we wanted to compare our data compared to our group walkers and our personal walking plans. So we're asking them the same questions, does it increase the amount of walking you do? Does it improve your knowledge and confidence and your walking, other physical activity? And across the board, we had a really great response, which you can see here. And again, how important was it for physical, mental, and social well-being? And we had a great response on that. For the survey respondents showed that 97% responded it was really important for physical and mental, and we still had an impact on social well-being with 65%. So that's really great to see that we're still getting that consistent feedback from participants that we're reaching what they need. And most importantly, will people continue? And yes, we found 99% said that they will continue being active beyond the program, and 11% said that they would like to join a Heart Foundation walking group and engage, with people face to face to help them continue with their motivation. So just quick limitations, we understand that this was an internal report. We just wanted to see our impact and if we were getting, the reach, and we didn't have a control group. So for purpose of research and evaluation, we can look at things in the future. It was self-report and subjective reporting, so we understand there's some engagement bias in there, and those who are, more likely to complete the program will be more likely to do the survey. And there was a bit of a gender skew towards females. So, but that's part of our bigger work on how do we reach those equity targets. So just in conclusion, 6-week personal walking plan was effective, improving participants' physical activity attainment on the guidelines. Motivational messaging really had an impact and appeared to enhance the engagement. And we'll look at future work about tracking physical activity through digital means, as well as looking at follow-up surveys at 6 and 12 months to see if benefits were sustained over time. So just some quick acknowledgements here, especially we are funded by Australian Department of Health and Ageing, and we have received continued funding for the next 3 years, so we'll continue our work into the future. And here's some contact details for you, for myself, for my walking team, and also for our researchers out there for the research team if you've got any questions. And that is it from me.
Wonderful, Elizabeth. Thank you so much. That was a lot of information, and congratulations to the Heart Foundation for all the work that you're doing. And I think one of the things we've talked about offline is getting the data around where all these walking groups are in Western Sydney, so we can start to plot the system, because that's what we're trying to do here. But I'd just like to open it to the floor. Has anybody got any questions for Elizabeth?
What's your what's your continued promotion? So obviously there was a big push, and then you collected data and you got up to this. Is there current kind of promotion, and what is it?
Yeah, so we're currently still got a campaign on. So we had campaign off, probably just for a little bit of background for this group only, for about 3 months, and we did see campaign off from a digital point of view did have a big impact. Our numbers dropped off, but the rest of the year we decided it was campaign on all the time, so digital promotion through Facebook and social media, and really, targeted information. It's really interesting that can be a whole nother presentation by marketing on how that works. But we've still got campaign on, and when we have campaign on, we're seeing we're getting at least between 5,000 to 7,000 people per month registering for personal walking plans. So we're still getting that traction and that reach, which is really great. And we've set a stretch target for the next 3 years of getting another 200,000 people registering for personal walking plans. So, and the government like that, so obviously, because we are continuing what we're doing, and we'll continue to build. But that's for personal walking plans. Groups are a different story. Groups continue to grow, word of mouth. We have not done a lot this year, and the numbers will continue to grow exponentially over the time. But it's really good, and this is where we really need from our partners and collaborators to help with getting more groups out there. It's free. We support them with resources and tools, and that's where we get more word of mouth and more community engagement with people walking in our group setting. So I hope that answers your question. And Camilla, you know where to find me if you need anything else.
Don't worry, I'll come and find you. I've got some ideas.
Thanks, Camilla. I'll just take one last question, because I do want to give the floor to everybody to have a quick round robin. I think did Craig just say something from Liverpool City Council? Is there any data that compares participation against financial disadvantage?
Yeah, if there's a little bit that we have in there, and I didn't dive into it too hard, but we do have CFA areas, and we're looking at that, and that's part of our KPIs. So we can dive into that. We've got our beautiful insights team who really look at some of this in depth. If you're interested in that, we can have another conversation offline, and we'll have a look at what applies. And like I talked to David about this week, because we're national, and the scope and capacity of what we had this year, everything's fairly high level, and it's just really New South Wales based, but we haven't been able to hone in just because it's very manual. We're still using Excel spreadsheets to pull out our data. So we want to be able to do that. And if anyone's interested, you can do it yourself manually for the groups, but please reach out. We do have the data. It just takes a bit of time to pull it.
Thanks for your question there, Craig. And Elizabeth's details are going to be in the minutes. And please reach out, because I think there's lots of opportunities to collaborate with everybody that's on this call as physical activity enthusiasts, and it's all about partnerships, isn't it? So, Elizabeth, did you say you wanted to somebody else to speak from Heart Foundation?
Just to say hi, Simon's on the line. If Simon, you want to say hello.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Sorry, I'm having troubles with my camera this morning, and for some reason it's just showing a big X on it. So nice to virtually meet you. Like Liz said, I just started with the Heart Foundation the end of last month as the new general manager for New South Wales. So hopefully meet some of you in person, and thanks for the invite today, Liz.
You're welcome.
Thanks a lot. So we've got 20 minutes left, or 21 minutes, and I think there's 20 of us in the room. So how about we just give everybody 60 seconds a minute, if that works, just to anything that comes up for you, anything you'd like to share, maybe about your organization, could be something, what's a big focus for 2023. Obviously there's a lot of people here, potential collaborators and partners, so if that's okay with everybody, if you don't mind me putting you on the spot. Yes, Elizabeth?
Can I go first? Because I just want to say I just did 20 minutes, so I'm not going to hold the floor. But I just want to say a big thank you to Helen and Alison and all the work that we did for our community engagement for healthy built environment work with Healthy Streets by Lucy Saunders. It was really great to collaborate across, southwestern Sydney and Western Sydney to try and get that going. And I'd like to do more in the future. So this is a bit of a watch this space, and we'll have conversations offline. But we're reactivating our healthy built environment work because we've had a bit of a hiatus this year, but we want to do more moving forward. And it's going to be about community walkability and safe streets and, looking at that whole remit. So that's just my last little plug of what we're doing in the future. I look forward to doing more with everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, Liz. And I do love Nicholas from Parramatta City Council, who's actually doing his walking as we're on this call. If you can see, so getting that movement in, Nicholas, I love it. So we'll start with Laurie, if that's okay. I'm just going to go across my screen. So yeah, Laurie, over to you for 60 seconds.
All right, pressure's on. I'm first. Thanks, David. Hi, everyone. I think I know some of you on screen. Laurie Mode, a CEO of Outdoors New South Wales and ACT. Look, there's a lot going on in our space at the moment, but the one that I thought I'd certainly ask for just a call of assistance is that we're sort of got pre-approval to apply for the youth, the regional youth and the flood relief program for our active outdoor kids program. Now, this is something that we get school kids to do a non-competitive opportunity outside of school after the school day is finished, and then we celebrate with an outdoor camp afterwards. So we've got funding in 12 locations across the state, and we've just applied for Blacktown. So if anyone is willing to support me with a quick letter of support, it's just literally to say that this is exactly what's needed. We need kids to think of other activities other than competitive stuff that some kids don't like, and that we can provide that opportunity for them to get engaged. So if you have an opportunity, stick your email in the chat and I'll send you a template which I can get you to put a signature on for me. But that's very exciting. But yeah, a lot going on in the space. We're just here to support community and healthy communities, getting people out to the outdoors. Thanks, David.
Laurie, wow, you've set the temperature. You've set the that was 60 seconds exactly. So well done. I'm going to go straight to Carol, who's from Parkrun. Carol.
Feel a bit of pressure now. I'm from Laurie. Hi everyone. This is I'm here with Peter actually, who is also from Parkrun. It's our first time on the call, so thank you. For the people who don't know what Parkrun's about, it's all about community, bringing people together, empowering them within our communities to get together through walking, running, and the area that I work on is volunteering. It's 5k events on a Saturday, 2k on a Sunday, and we have about 430 events across the country, and a lot of events in Western Sydney, which is great. I guess I don't have anything specific in terms of actions right now, but for what we are focusing on for next year, which we'd love to chat more to people in the group here about next year, is positioning volunteering as a legitimate form of physical activity. So, it's perhaps not in the conventional sense of steps and calories, but it can be an absolute first step for a lot of people. It can be a legitimate form that they get out in the fresh air and move on a weekend. So yeah, I'd love to collaborate and talk more to people about that next year.
Thanks, Carol. And I'd love you to be a guest speaker, I think, at one of these community practices. And I'd really like to hone in to find out where all the park runs are within Western Sydney as well. But thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate it. Craig Lambeth from Liverpool City Council. Are you there, Craig? Going once, going twice. I'll move on then to Helen Ryan from the local health district.
Hello everyone. Yeah, I work in the health promotion team at Western Sydney Local Health District. Just very quickly, we have strong partnerships with our 4 councils in the local health district. So I'm happy to see some of the council colleagues. Generally, so I was really excited to see, Elizabeth, your presentation, and we can promote any of the programs like Parkrun, Heart Foundation, groups, etc. And our main focus, I guess, has predominantly been on trying to increase walkability and active transport and looking at healthy built environment indicators around those areas. But happy to collaborate with people so we cover Blacktown, Cumberland, Parramatta, and the Hills. And also if people are looking for increased sort of referrals from health professionals, we might be able to assist in that area as well. And obviously work closely with my colleague from Western Sydney Diabetes, Janine Dawson, who's online too.
Fabulous, Helen, and yeah, thank you for joining. Really appreciate it, and you're doing some amazing work there. So well done. Next one is, and I hope I pronounced this okay. Is it Ian from Cumberland Council?
Ilan.
Ilan. Nice to meet you, Ilan. Thanks for joining. Over to you.
Thanks very much for having me. So I'm the Youth Recreation Officer at Cumberland City Council. We have our January Youth Summer Holiday program, which is called Active Bodies, Active Minds, which is got futsal, orienteering, flag gridiron, tennis, ninja park, First Nations workshop, multi-sport, and goalball, which is a Paralympic sport. February 28th, we're going to be holding a Youth Mental Health Summit at the Holroyd Centre. And in April for Youth Week, I'm proposing like a move-a-thon where we can have 2 points with lots of activities along the way, and people can, people-powered movement between the activities and the start and finish point.
Thanks for that. Nice, short and concise. And I'm really interested in that move-a-thon. I think that's a great opportunity for us maybe all to collaborate, supporting mental health for teens. So over to Janine from Diabetes Western Local Health District.
Thanks, David. I would just like to spend 60 seconds. We're working on a whole lot of things, but one of the things is just an opportunity for a lot of people here. We have a little book called Healthy Living Options, which you may or may not be aware of. It's everything that is either free or very inexpensive related to physical activity in Western Sydney. So it's got all sorts of, exercise programs, face-to-face programs, online programs. And it is a great favourite amongst GPs because they, it gives them options. They can sit down with their patients and say, well, what did you used to like doing, and work through and find out things that they like to do. So anyway, I'm just about to start working on updating it because, it's about 2 years old now. I know a lot of you are actually already in it. We've got parkrun, walking groups, Live Life, Get Active, councils and things like that. But it would be a tremendous help if you could have a look and update your information and send it to me. And anyone who's not in it, it's on our website, westernsydneydiabetes.com.au. Have a look. And if you think you've got some material that you'd like to add, shoot it through or reach out to me and I'd love to include it. Because as I said, it goes out to GPs, it goes out to the community, and it is tremendously popular. So it's a great way to promote what you do. So as I said, the focus is on everything that is either free or very inexpensive. So that's a plug, and look forward to hearing from you.
Amazing, Janine, and it is an incredible resource. So looking forward to 2.0. So I'd encourage everybody to send information to Janine. We've got Jennifer from The Big Issue.
Lovely. Janine, we'd love to get in your book as well, because we've got 2 street soccer programs in Western Sydney. So in Parramatta Park every Thursday afternoon, we're there playing soccer from 3:30 to 5:30. It's completely free. We usually have some fruit from us harvest and water and any equipment that anybody needs, and experienced coaches and everything. And our sort of, we talk to people more informally about making good, healthy life decisions. And it's, soccer's a draw card, but it's also a social thing, very similar to the come for the walk, stay for the talk, come for the soccer, but stay for the sort of team and the social side of things. And we've also got one in Mount Druitt every Tuesday, 1 till 3 in the Town Centre Reserve. That's sort of our newest program. And at the moment, just from the sort of where it's located, and it's very close to a disability sort of day centre. So we've had quite a lot of participants from the disability services, but we're also open to just anybody coming as well. So we want to sort of grow that program, well, grow both of them really, and sort of spread the word that they're free. You don't need to sort of sign up or commit to a certain number of sessions. Just turn up and we'll always be there. We're sort of consistently there. Yeah.
Incredible.
And we're going throughout Christmas and New Year. I think the only date we're stopping is the sort of Boxing Day public holiday, but other than that, like the Parramatta one's going every week. We're in the West Domain corner of the park, so closest to the Westmead station. And yeah, there we go.
Thanks, Jennifer. Yeah, doing some fantastic work. Obviously, a really important organisation for community, the big issue. So well done. And over to Camilla from the Council of the Ageing.
So I work for Council on Ageing, the peak organisation for people over 50. I look after our Strength and Balance programme, but we'll be spending quite a lot of next year engaging more community speakers to really talk within, again, our age range, to talk within the community about the importance of staying active, and that's both. So walking, again, I'll collaborate with Heart Foundation, any of you guys that are able to reach people. We want to work together around our sort of joint targets around how can we engage people to be champions within their communities, so that we can engage more people, the hard to reach people. So that's where we're at.
Beautiful, Camilla, thank you. And over to Nicholas. How many steps have you done, Nicholas, while we've been online?
Hey everyone, so this is a really great opportunity. Thank you, David, and everyone for coming on board. I think this is an amazing group of excellent, brilliant minds. 2,500 steps. So trying to squeeze in them. Everyone is so busy, and that's what we hear. The main complaint is, life gets in the way. But you know what? Everyone's been sitting here. You could have got your 1,000 steps up. Just walk around the room, walk around in circles, dance in the dark, as was mentioned. So I'm Nicholas from Active Parramatta, Senior Healthy Lifestyle Specialist. Anything to do with Parramatta. We've got free health and wellbeing programs online, face to face. We have about 3,500 active participants per term. David, we collected that data. Do you currently, meet that 30 minutes? We got some pretty awesome feedback to provide to you. Mm-hmm. and to everyone. So please feel free. My email address is in the chat. Nick and Carolyn at City of Parramatta. Happy to collaborate and support all your initiatives. Anything to do. I've got a lot of leverage that I can utilize in council, so we can really get that word out there. Thousands and tens of thousands of emails and things like that. So happy to support you guys, but I want to encourage as leaders in the field to just get up and move. Be that weird one that's walking around a circle in your office. Break that stigma of having to sit there and listen to in meetings, and just move. You guys are the leaders. Lead by example. I just think Anyway, thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thanks, Nicholas, and for the pep talk. And I just want to round off that the Active Parramatta and their online classes, anybody can partake in that. It's not within the LGA, so that's really important because it's all free. So over to Peter. Are you there, Peter?
Did you mean me from Parkrun?
Yes.
Okay, just checking, because there might have been a male Peter as well.
Hope I said it right. Is that okay?
You did, yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, it's an unusual spelling, but it's the usual pronunciation. Firstly, thank you for having me. I'm new to the group today, and my colleague Carol told me about it. So, and I also work closely with Janine Dawson. So it's really nice to be involved. And you probably saw me pop in the chat box that we do have 7 events in Western Sydney, and we'd love to increase it even more. And just want to make it clear that even though our name is Park Run, walking is very much encouraged. So we've just had a big campaign in October about Park Walk. It's too late to change our name, unfortunately, but we did do it month. And just to make everyone that walks feel welcome. It's, you know, yes, there are people that love to run and get times and that sort of thing, but we love our walkers, and that Parkrun is really, it's a social event. It's not designed to be competitive or a fast running event at all. So it's about getting people outdoors, active and social on a Saturday morning. So please check out our website if you'd like to come along. We'd welcome you anytime. We do ask participants to register before they come along, which is free forever. And you get a barcode which you can bring along and work towards milestone shirts for both running, walking or volunteering. And like Carol said, volunteering, you're on your feet for over an hour. It's still very active. Carol and I actually enjoy doing that the most, much prefer that to running and walking, because we get to talk to everybody. Everyone says thank you, and it just makes you feel really good on a Saturday morning. So if anyone can come along, we'd love to see you there.
Thank you so much, Pete. And I'm thrilled that you've joined the group. And I think I'm going to try and get to those 6 or 7 Western Sydney park runs over the next in 2023. So the next person is Rachel from a wonderful organisation called Healthstain, Allied Health Professionals, award-winning organisation. So over to you, Rachel.
Thanks so much, David. Yeah, so I'm the Allied Health Coordinator at Healthstain. As David had mentioned, we provide allied health services. Particularly for us, we're an exercise physiology house, so increasing physical activity for anybody and everyone. However, our niche area is working with people with disabilities, chronic illnesses, complex conditions as well, and just trying to engage them as much exercise or physical activity as possible. For us, we're located in New South Wales in 2 clinics in Southwest Sydney, and we're also doing mobile visits all over Greater Sydney as well. For those that may not be able to leave their home, any movement is better than nothing, and it's our role to remove those barriers for them to participate in more physical activity. A big thing with our clinic locations as well is working with local councils, and our clinics are actually located in community-based settings, aquatic and leisure centres, to try and really encourage self-autonomy when it comes to exercise as well. So we want to be redundant in people's lives by prescribing exercise for a certain period of time, and then enable them to participate in exercise with, you know, supporting and mentoring as well for as long as they need to. Funnily enough, Elizabeth, I was a placement student there at the Nepean Cardiac Rehab almost 10 years ago now as well. So kind of thing, and the work that you've done as well over those years it's awesome to see from when I did that almost a decade ago as well. But yeah, feel free to reach out anyone if you do have anyone in mind that may need to have a little bit more assistance with removing the barriers they may have or have unique abilities to have to participate in physical activity. But other than that, I'm looking forward to, I think, my 49th, if not 50th park run tomorrow as well. So massive lover of park runs too. So yeah, thank you for having me, and yeah, that's me.
And thanks for fitting us in. You're in the car somewhere, obviously. So we've got 4 people left and 1 minute. So we're probably just going to nudge over a little bit. But Richard Price from Sydney Sports Management Group, can you hear us? Okay, I'll move on. Scott Walters from Went West Primary Health Network. You just unmute, Scott, I think. Can you hear us? Okay, and we'll move on. Oh, yeah, I think it might come on then. No? No. We'll move on to Simon. Simon Cowie, you did mention, you said before, from Park Run. Was there anything else you wanted to just mention?
Hi, sorry, yes, that's sorry, I've just got a barking dog. That's me, just from the Heart Foundation. No, just happy to be here and to connect with people. So Liz has already mentioned that we'd like to, in the chat, connect with some of you to discuss some potential future collaboration. So yeah, first time here. Thank you very much for having me, and looking forward to working with you in the future.
You're very welcome. Thanks for joining the group. And Tessa, thank you, Tessa. No. Richard, one more chance. So I think we've just about exhausted that. Is anybody else that I've missed? No. Well, we do want to respect everyone's time, so I just wanted to give a felt gratitude to everybody giving your time over the last 3 community of practices. Really appreciate it, and it's really encouraging to see the wealth of knowledge and from the different parts of the system. As we try and connect the dots for Western Sydney and reduce physical inactivity. So we'll see what emerges next year. I'm sure there's a lot that's going to happen. And yeah, just wishing you all a really great break, rest up, recharge, and yeah, I'm sure 2023 is going to be a big year for us all. So yeah. Thank you very much. Is there anything else that anybody else wanted to mention?
Have you got a date for the next meeting so we can put in the diary, or?
Yeah, it's a recurring meeting
Cool.
in 8 weeks. I did want to mention one thing actually, because Laurie usually can't make Fridays, and you are a key stakeholder in this Outdoor New South Wales and ACT. Would people mind if we moved it to a Thursday?
I feel very guilty. Everyone's moving for me.
That would suit me too, actually. I usually have Fridays off, so yeah.
Me too.
Thanks, Janine. I feel better.
Okay, well
that's for me too.
Why didn't I just do it Thursdays? So I will cancel the meeting and then I'll reset it and it'll be a recurring meeting there, Camilla. So. Okay, and a special thanks to Elizabeth from the Heart Foundation today. Good job, and we'll see you all soon.
You're welcome. Thanks
Merry
for having me,
Christmas,
everyone.
all.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas,
Happy
everyone.
holidays.
Merry Christmas.
See you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.